feel so much fucking better. Don't feel like a goddamn yeti anymore. It has taken me many, many years, and I'm ashamed to admit it, I am 29, and I'm only just getting over my youthful hatred of musical theatre. It has taken me quite some time, but I finally think I have been convinced. I wouldn't say I'm a complete virgin to it. I mean, I am a big fan of the Rocky Horror Picture Show from 1975, starring Tim Curry. That is a film I've been obsessed with. Love it to pieces. I then also love The Greatest Showman, have its soundtrack. I made a video on it like Christmas Day, or I think it was Boxing Day maybe, one of them. It was near Christmas. I took some time out during the holidays to make a video on it. I loved it so much. So I wouldn't say I've been hating of it. There's not been a lot that's taken me by surprise or anything I've kind of fell in love with until now. Hamilton as a musical has been hailed as a revolution since its release in 2010. But I wasn't one to catch up with the hype, and there was everything in the newspapers at the time saying how expensive and how lucrative it was to go and see Hamilton in the theatre. And I wasn't much of a theatre buff anyway. I think I've been maybe twice in my life, once very recently. So I've not really got anything to do with it. So I didn't really want to get involved.
But then
we got a statement on the news in the UK saying that Disney Plus was releasing the original cast of Hamilton's live stage production that they did just before Lin-Manuel Miranda stopped doing the tour of it. And me and the wife watched it, and now I'm making a video on it. So, as you can tell by the title, I don't think it was shit.
it was so good.
When it comes to fads and things, I'm not really a person who gets drawn to them. If anything, if people are hyping things up on Twitter, all they keep going on about is a certain thing, my brain just immediately kind of backs off of it. I mean, I've only ever seen like 6 episodes of Game of Thrones, and they weren't even in the same season. It's like sporadically whenever the missus was watching them on the TV. So I'm not really one to sit there and watch it if it's been overhyped. But when it came out on Disney Plus, I looked at Hamilton and I just sort of pressed play on it, and I think it was the best thing I could have done. Don't worry, after my last review, I will be making sweet love to this one. And I'm not just going to be cool again and shit all over Hollywood. This one's good. I'm such a great guy with all of my influence on YouTube. As I've said in the past in my reviews for Getting to the Greek, I love a good soundtrack. I'm a music lover, I've been in bands for years, I absolutely love it. So Getting to the Greek downloaded the soundtrack. Atomic Blonde, which I talked about for 15 minutes around 2 years ago at the start of this channel, I download them, I love them, I listen to them again and again and again. I have the vinyl, I'm looking at the vinyl right now of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I love it, I'm going to get it. And I've only gone and done it again. I'm such a rebel. And that means, of course, for the last few days I've been listening to nothing but Lin-Manuel Miranda's music and his writing, and trust me, it has given me a new love of the man since the, quite frankly, worse than Dick Van Dyke performance he put in Mary Poppins Returns. That is how good I think this has changed me. And as I said just a little while ago, if I don't like it, I ain't gonna listen. That man was a fad, but this changed my mind about him, because I thought that that kind of terrible, more terrible performance and then infamously terrible performance kind of speak for itself. It kind of has to, really, considering that he wrote over 8 years and performed the lead in his own Broadway production. You kind of have to admit the man's a bit of a genius. And the fact that he's on Brooklyn Nine-Nine now as Amy Santiago's brother, I also love. So, if anything, he's doing more and more good things in my book. And he wrote Moana, the music for Moana. And all he can say is, "You're welcome." Now, since I have seen Hamilton, I can now give you, with the glorious benefit of hindsight, my favourite 2 songs that I think you should listen to as soon as my video is over. Jonathan Groff, or Christoph from Frozen, sings this song. That blew my mind almost straight away, that the guy from Frozen, you know, Anna's boyfriend, sings this, and I didn't know that that was like, this was filmed like maybe 5 years ago or something. So that truly blew my mind when I saw that he was in this. So he's not just been famous for Frozen, that's just me being stupid. King George, I think, has the best song on the Hamilton soundtrack. You'll Be Back, I put on every day before I leave for work. It's a song that always makes me happy. It's about a man who wants to, you know, make sure that his kingdom falls in love with him by being absolutely terrified of him, which is not necessarily good, but the performance that Jonathan puts into this is hilarious. I love it. The actual lyrics are stupendous to listen to. You really want to sit there and sort of digest everything. Hence I've listened to it like 9 times in the last 5 days. I can't get enough of that song. It puts me in a great mood. Here's a little snippet of the lyrics for you.
Soon you'll see, you remember you belong to me. You'll be back, time will tell. You remember that I serve you.
Pretty uplifting, right? So if you like Frozen and you like Christoph, you're gonna like this song, because it's basically the dude doing it with an English accent, being hilarious and spitting way too much. But don't worry, Google that, because I had to. Here's a reason he does it. He just gets way too involved, but don't worry. Anyway, my second song is Renee Elise Goldsberry sings as Angelica Schuyler in the most famous song, I think, inside and outside of the Hamilton musical. I honestly believe that this song is probably going to outlive the musical, if I'm honest with you. Satisfied is a song that has fantastic singing parts, but I think that Renee also does the rapping amazingly. This is a song that will get stuck in your head, and I implore you, once you have watched this film, these 2 songs at least will be stuck in your brain, because the pair of them do such a fantastic job at both songs. And I honestly believe that if you listen to anything in there, my wife has a couple of songs that aren't those. I think she has a couple of different choices, but there's like 40 songs in the actual soundtrack. Everyone has their favourites. For me, they are the most uplifting, funny and clever, especially the way they move Angelica Schuyler around on the stage in this song. I think it's very clever. They go back in time, forward in time, and go into her brain a lot. I think they use her in her song a lot better than they do in You'll Be Back, because that song is very much just aggrandizing about King George. But that song is very inventive. In all honesty, this is a musical that will help you with history, it will teach you things, and it will give you a new appreciation for song structure and entertainment. And this is genuinely, I believe, a very inventive way of showing you things. I mean, shit, I was Googling and Wikipediaing Alexander Hamilton after this and how he died and all that. I mean, they do it in the musical, but it's so inventive the way he does it. I just wanted to double check, and it's so good. The amount of stuff he gets in there that is correct. I cannot fault him for that. This is a great way of storytelling, a great way to make you think, which is something I love, and I've said that numerous times about films, is they can make me think. This made me think. It doesn't insult you. It wants you to look, it wants you to research, it wants you to know. I'm English, I don't know much about American politics, especially back then. The country's 277 years old. I don't know that much about a very young country. I think it's a fantastic way to teach you, and entertaining to boot. I mean, it's safe to say that Mr. Miranda got it bang on, didn't he? Guys, if you want a good reason to download Disney Plus, do it right now. It's not that expensive. We were very surprised they were putting it on there, and we couldn't wait once we watched it. We're going to go watch it again over the weekend. We really enjoyed it. If you have seen Hamilton live, I'd love to know. I know my brother-in-law has seen it live and said it was amazing. If you have seen it live or have watched the Disney Plus version the same way I have with the original cast, please let me know in the comments down below. Let's discuss it. I want to know what you thought. What's your favourite song from Hamilton? Is there something that you liked other than the songs? Is the actors or something else? The comedy, there's lots of it in there. What's your favourite part of the musical? I would love to know. It is something that I genuinely am getting interested in. I'm going to watch his other musical that he did before this, In the Heights, I'm going to learn a bit more because he has a different way of doing things, and I really think it is a good place and a base to learn about any of those kind of things. I'm going to take it on board. So there's my little sort of 12-minute whatever rant about Hamilton, guys. I was a huge fan, obviously. I made a video about it. So yeah, as I said, please let me know in the comments down below. And guys, until next time, please like, share, subscribe. Tell me what else I should do. I love doing videos about the stuff I love, not necessarily upcoming and new releases. So guys, please let me know. And as always, this is your friendly neighbourhood ginger guy saying, Ginge out.